5 kittens were born into that house in the same hour, on the same blanket, into the same gray world. 4 of them looked almost identical: soft blue-gray fur, round amber eyes, the same sleepy faces, the same tangled pile of paws, the same tiny mews in the night. But there was a 5th. Her name was Pip, the smallest of the litter, barely bigger than a teacup, with fur a touch lighter than her brothers and sisters. For the first few weeks, nobody thought twice about her. She nursed quietly, she slept in the pile like the rest, she looked, for all purposes, like just another gray kitten lost in a sea of gray kittens. Then, the family started noticing something. It started small. When all 5 kittens were placed on the couch for photos, 4 of them would scatter, hiding behind pillows, climbing under blankets, disappearing into the folds of a throw. But Pip never hid. She'd plant herself in the middle of the cushions, sit completely still, and stare directly into the camera like she already knew exactly what was happening. At first, the family's daughter, Mia, thought it was funny. "She's posing," she'd laugh every single time. Then it became a pattern. Every photo, every video, while her 4 littermates blurred into a moving mass of paws and tails, Pip was always the one looking straight ahead, always front and center, always the one who refused to disappear into the group. Feeding time told the same story. The moment the bowls touched the floor, 4 kittens dove in together, a tangle of pushing heads and impatient tails. Pip waited at the edge instead, watching until she caught the eye of whoever had set the bowls down. Only then would she step forward and eat, slow and unhurried, like the meal meant less to her than the moment right before it. When the kittens grew old enough to explore the cat tree by the patio door, the same thing happened again. The other 4 huddled together on the lower platform, pressed shoulder to shoulder for comfort. Pip climbed straight to the top, alone, and sat there watching the world outside like it already belonged to her. "She doesn't know how to blend in," Mia's mother said one evening, watching her from the kitchen. "She never has." It wasn't just about photos or perches, it was about people too. When visitors came over, 4 kittens scattered instantly, under the couch, behind the curtains, into any shadow they could find. Pip walked straight toward the stranger's feet and sat down, tail wrapped neatly around her paws, looking up like she was waiting to be noticed. She didn't meow for attention, she didn't paw at anyone's leg. She simply made herself impossible to overlook every single time, in a litter where overlooking any one kitten would have been the easiest thing in the world. Even Hazel, the mother cat, seemed to understand it. She groomed her kittens methodically, one after another, except for Pip, who she always returned to last, lingering a little longer, like she knew this one needed something the others didn't. "Maybe she just likes attention," Mia's father offered one night, only half joking. But it felt like more than that. It felt like Pip had decided somewhere in those first few weeks of her life that she was not going to be one of 5 identical gray shapes in a basket. She was going to be seen. If you're still here, I'm guessing you already love this little troublemaker as much as we do. Stick around, because what happened a few weeks later changed everything. And if you haven't subscribed yet, that low-key breaks my heart a little. Just hit the button. By 8 weeks old, the differences in personality were impossible to ignore. The 4 other kittens had grown into a tight, inseparable little pack, eating together, sleeping in one pile, following each other from room to room like a single gray cloud. Mia noticed it most when school let out. Every afternoon, the other 4 kittens stayed curled in their pile by the radiator, barely stirring. Pip was already at the window by then, perched on the sill, watching the street long before the front gate even creaked. By the time Mia's key turned in the lock, Pip was already at the door. Pip drifted at the edges of that cloud, not excluded, not unwanted, just separate. She'd eat a few bites with her siblings, then wander off toward whichever family member was sitting nearby. She'd nap with the group for a while, then quietly slip away to curl up alone on a sunny windowsill. Mia started keeping a small notebook, jotting down Pip sightings like she was tracking a tiny celebrity. Top of the cat tree, by the patio door, on Dad's slipper, always somewhere a little outside the group, always somewhere she could be found first. One afternoon, Mia's mother sat on the floor with all 5 kittens tumbling around her. She picked up each one in turn, checked their eyes, their ears, their tiny growing claws. When she reached Pip, the kitten didn't squirm or wriggle away like the others had. She simply settled into her palm and stayed there, perfectly still, eyes locked on her face. "You're not like your brothers and sisters, are you?" she whispered. Pip blinked once, slow and deliberate, the way cats do when they trust you completely. Then came the afternoon that changed how the whole family saw her. It was a quiet Sunday. Mia did her usual head count before dinner, a habit the family had built since the kittens started exploring more of the house. 4 kittens, piled together by the radiator. She counted again, still 4. Pip was missing. For 10 frantic minutes, the family searched every room, under the bed, behind the curtains, inside the laundry basket, every cushion, every gap behind the furniture. Mia's voice cracked as she called her name down the hallway, equal parts panic and guilt for ever joking about her wandering off alone so often. They found her at the front door, not hiding, not stuck, just sitting there, facing the entrance, completely calm, as though she'd simply been waiting for someone to come home or for someone to notice she'd left the group on purpose. Mia's father had walked in from work moments before, and Pip had beaten everyone else to the door to greet him. That was when it finally clicked. She hadn't wandered off lost. She'd wandered off looking for connection, for someone to lock eyes with, for a reason to stand apart from 4 kittens who never needed anything but each other. Looking back, the family realized Pip had never been confused about who she was. From her very first weeks, buried in a litter of nearly identical gray kittens, she had already decided that blending in wasn't going to be her story. Some animals are content to move as part of a pack. Others are born already reaching past it, looking for the one face in the room that will look back. Pip simply needed to be seen, by her mother, by her family, by anyone willing to notice. And once she was, she never let that connection go. Sometimes the quietest kitten in the pile isn't the one who got lost in the crowd. She's the one who decided, long before anyone else noticed, that she never belonged there in the first place. Do you think some animals are just born different, or does love simply teach them to stand out? Tell me what you think in the comments.